Hi everyone, welcome to Q Sourcing, and this is
Coffee with the Q Sourcing recruitment team.
I'm Agnes Maingi.
And I'm Eunice Wainaina, and we are here to help you land your next big role.
Welcome. So on this segment, we want to discuss the most commonly asked question in an interview. And while there are so many, we are going to focus on 5 key questions that are on the personal and the background questions. We'll start with the first question, which is usually asked. Eunice, I'm hoping you're ready for this.
Yes, I am.
Tell me about yourself.
Okay, so this is actually the most commonly asked question because this is what sets the basis. In short, it sets the pace. So this question is simple. However, so many people get it wrong, and you need to answer this question in like 3 minutes maximum, because again, too long of an introduction gets boring. So make sure, one, do not mention your marital status, avoid mentioning about religion, avoid mentioning about your age. So some of the focus areas that you could mention, highlight your professional summary. Tell the interviewer what you're currently doing now, and tell them your duties and responsibilities in a nutshell. Also mention at least a notable achievement that you've had in that particular role in a nutshell. Again, please don't take so much time on that. The other aspect you need to highlight when you ask this question is summarize your past experiences. Make sure you keep them very short. Do not prolong them. You could just highlight, because this is just a highlight of who you are. The other thing you need to say is how this particular role aligns with probably what you want to do in future, or you need to mention how this role aligns with your skills, because in short, you're selling yourself. You need to show this person why I'm a perfect fit for this particular position. So in a nutshell, take time, but don't take so much time dwelling on this question, but make sure you give content as to why they need to hire you for this particular position. Yes.
I'm imagining, since this is the first question, the candidate has to be really calm when they're answering this question. I like what you've said, summarize your past experience, because I'm thinking of someone who has worked for, let's say, over 15, 20 years. They have such a vast experience, so they need to summarize it. So the key things on the summary or on their explanation to just give a brief professional experience.
And I like what you've said. When you're talking about your past experiences, some candidates have had various jobs in different fields. Say someone started as a salesperson, they went to customer service. So if at this particular point now, this is a sales role, focus more on the sales jobs that you've done previously. You could mention about the customer service role. However, make sure you don't take so much time on the customer service role, because again, it looks like now you're shooting yourself on the foot. You're here interviewing for a sales role, but you're telling us about what you did when you were a customer service person. So you could highlight that, but again, put your focus more on the roles that you've done that are relevant to the position that you're interviewing for at this particular time. Yes.
I hear you. What about the people, the younger generation? Let's say, for example, I've just cleared campus. So this tell me about yourself question might be a very tricky question for them. They might be wondering, what should I say? So what can they really include in tell me about yourself?
So if you do not have any work experience, now this is the time where you get to have transferable skills from your academic background, from your internship. I'm sure even if you're coming straight from university, you must have done something, even if it was just for a short while.
Even volunteer.
Even volunteer work. That could also come in as part of your experience. So make sure you transfer those skills and align yourself to this particular role. Show them that you can do it with what you've learned, either through your academics or through, the small roles that you've held in internships or attachments. Just align yourself with those transferable skills that you've gained over time. Yes.
Thank you, Eunice. Can we go to our next question?
Yes.
So the next commonly asked question is usually, tell me about your strength, your weaknesses.
Yes.
How do I explain that?
So I think, okay, starting from strengths, I feel like when you ask that question, it's very easy because these are some of the things you mentioned in your CV.
Okay.
They could have been in I would say soft skills, or they were hard skills that you mentioned. Probably you mentioned you are analytical, you have good communication skills. These are still your strengths. So if you mention them in your CV, then that is what you relay out in this particular interview.
Okay.
And please, I've seen people Googling, especially these templates where you, especially for the weaknesses, that is where everyone Googles weaknesses that really are not applicable. So you will find someone saying, my weakness is being a perfectionist. Really, I mean, I feel like that's really not a good answer. It looks kind of generic. You know, try and tailor make this weakness to suit your personality, and to suit the role.
Okay. Tell me, Eunice, if, for example, the interviewer asked me, what are my weaknesses? How do I respond to that?
Okay, so that's a very commonly asked question. So make sure you're genuine. Don't do the generic Googled weaknesses that everyone says. Number two, make sure that that weakness that you mention is not a critical skill required for you to perform that job. Because if, for example, you're dealing with you're a customer service person, if you tell the interviewer that you can't work in you can't work in a high pressure job, then that's a straight up disqualification, because one of the skills required for you to work in customer service is for you to be able to manage high pressure.
Yes.
The other aspect you need to mention is how and what steps you're taking to improve on this particular weakness. Yes.
Okay.
So when you mix the three parts I've mentioned, definitely you'll have countered the question, and you'll be up to get your next role.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So I focus on, you've said, what was the first word that you said?
I said, make sure the particular weakness is not a skill required for the job.
Okay.
Number two, make sure it's very genuine.
Okay.
Don't just Google a generic weakness for somebody else.
It can be seen.
Yes, it can be seen, because you will not be able to elaborate how that affects your work.
Okay.
Number three, make sure that you mention steps that you're taking to counter that weakness.
Okay.
Yes.
My next question. If I'm asked, why did I leave my organization, the previous organization?
Okay.
Or why do I want to leave?
If you're asked that question of why you want to leave, again, be genuine, that you align to what you want to do in future. You could mention things like you want career growth.
Okay.
Number two, be very positive. Please, if you want to leave your current employer because things are not going well, things happen.
Yes.
Could be issues to do with salaries, could be, just usual conflicts in the workplace that you're not able to manage anymore.
Yes.
Be positive. Kindly do not cite the negativities of your current job, because this could also look like you will bring in the same energy to this particular role that you are interviewing for.
Yeah.
So make sure you're positive, your answers are positive, tailor make them to suit where you want to be in future.
Okay.
Yes, that really works.
Okay.
Because once you say, for example, for career growth, for work-life balance, this is futuristic.
Okay.
So it works to your advantage, unlike when you're discussing the past, which could really be detrimental to you getting this particular role.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good answer. If I'm asked, why do I want to work here? How should I respond to that?
Okay. That's a very commonly asked question. So make sure, one, you've already done your research on it, because you cannot say why you want to work in a place if you've not done your research.
True.
So make sure you've done your research on the role and on the job.
Okay.
Identify the differences between your current role and the organization you want to work for. Those are some of the bases that you can cite to show you know, the benefits of you joining them. Again, sell yourself in terms of not only what you will get from that organization, but what you will give, or what you will, you know, as commonly people say, they say what you will bring to the table.
Yes.
This is a perfect opportunity for you to demonstrate that aspect of what you will be bringing to this particular organization. The other aspect of why you want to, you know, join them, show enthusiasm. Like, be excited.
Yes.
You couldn't just say, you know, some people ask, why do you want to join us? I just want to join you.
Yeah. Yes.
Your name is very big, or your company is very big in the industry. You know nothing about this particular organization.
Yes.
The other aspect you could cite is their values aligning to your own particular values.
Very true. Very true.
Because you find that some organizations, in as much as it's an interview, you are also interviewing them in return. So cite that, the fact that you see they can align to what you want to do, or where you're going in the future. So also mention, you know, your alignment in values, because now this will also show that you are a culture fit for this particular organization, because your values are aligned. Yes.
Thank you, Eunice. Thank you, everyone. I'm hoping you've gotten a nutshell, or just a bit information on what you're supposed to do on your next interview. We shall see you in our next segment. Thank you very much for being with us.